Hello, and welcome back to Spiritual Astrology. Today I'm going to talk to you all about Venus in Aries. So here we have a planet, the planet of love, subtle. It's a bit subtle when it's in, the planet, the signs it rules, But then you put it in the sign Aries, and Aries is very straightforward. So these people in love, in relationships, in public, are very straightforward, impulsive, kind of, in a negative sense, immature, but they're just kind of vibrant and lively. If you have this placement and your sun is in Taurus, or your sun is in Pisces, people are going to be shocked, kind of, when you act this way. It could be that your Venus is more powerful, depending on your chart. But if Venus is in Aries, Venus is exalted in Pisces, right? And it rules Taurus. And you put it in the sign in between. It's very similar to how my moon is in Gemini, and Cancer rules Gemini, or Cancer rules the moon, and the moon is exalted in Taurus. This is exactly the same thing. So Venus is in a place where it doesn't necessarily feel comfortable, but of course these people just show their emotions, their attraction, impulsively. They burn out quickly. They jump into relationships. They're really quick. When they flirt, they're very straightforward. They're actually quite affectionate. They show their interest quite well, which is good. I think refreshing for me. I'd probably do pretty well, even for Capricorn with the Venus in Aries. They like to kind of take over a friend group. They like to make the lead. So even if you see this person as a very soft-spoken person, if they have the sun in another sign, if their Venus is in Aries, they're going to, in social settings, become someone of a leader. They're not very subtle. They look up to, they believe that straightforwardness is more romantic. So wherever your Venus is placed is where you see things as kind of more socially acceptable, romantic, appealing, attractive. They're very actually independent in relationships. They're very straightforward. They say what they mean what they say. They think that their opinion must be heard. There's no other way about it. They are very attracted and spontaneous in life. They're very attracted to being bold. Venus and Aries people can get bored very easily. If they're in a relationship with someone that isn't as impulsive or bold, it can be quite overwhelming for both people. They actually like a bit of tension. They don't like when things are going too smoothly, which is counterintuitive to actually the pure Venus energy, right? They won't sit around talking about the things that they want to do in a relationship or with their friends. They'll just go out and do it rather than talk about it or consider it or weigh the options. Aries, any planet in Aries is not indecisive. It's decisive. Basically, their attention span and tolerance and patience is very low. So unless you can actually sit down with them and tell them, and they'll listen. If you tell them, hey, I notice, which you would notice with a Venus in Aries, and maybe the Venus in Aries person won't understand that people see them as impatient or intolerant, but in fact, that's just how they act impulsively. They don't see the negative aspect of this Venus in Aries placement. Of course, they're just going to see the positive aspects of it. They're going to say, I'm exciting. Why would you get bored of me? What is wrong with me? And then someone else, that's a bit slower. A lot of people can't keep up with Aries energy, right? So they need someone to kind of show them that they can be a bit impulsive, and then that can be a good thing, but to just kind of let the other person take the lead every once in a while, because it's not exactly fair. And Venus is actually supposed to be happy or well-placed in a sign that is contemplative or considerate. And Aries isn't necessarily considerate. It just goes with the flow and wants to be happy. It thinks that it's leading everyone into a good, happy place, right? It's not going to do something if it thinks it's hurting someone else. Venus is, wherever your Venus is placed, shows how you want to be relatable, how you want to charm other people, make other people feel good, make yourself feel good at the same time. But basically a Mars and Aries person, or a Venus and Aries person, oh my God, has to kind of sit around every once in a while and think about what they actually want instead of just kind of going after stuff and doing things. Because the Venus won't sink in. That Venus pure energy of just excitement, lust, love, sensuality is not necessarily very strong naturally in this sign. So just let these, offer these people a kind of peace, because Aries necessarily doesn't have that peace naturally, but with Venus there, you can probably lure Venus and Aries into these kind of feelings and energies. So one thing about Venus and Aries is that they do not like to lose. They might be a bit competitive when they're trying to get someone's attention or affection. They may become a bit moody or just kind of pushy when they don't get exactly what they want. They actually don't like the kind of mature relationships that are boring and the same every day. They like that kind of chase energy. So it depends on the rest of their chart, but part of them is going to like that, getting there, starting the relationship. Beginnings are huge for Aries. So if you're with a Mars or a Venus in Aries, just tell them that you like spontaneity. I mean, if you're with this person, you should probably like a bit of spontaneity every once in a while, because this person sees relationships as spontaneous. The value inside relationships, the value in life is in Aries. If it's placed in Aries, this person values spontaneity. It values beginnings. It values passion and energy and quickness and decisiveness. They get bored easily with things that aren't considered naturally fun. So fun is a big word for them. They are actually attracted to many kinds of people. They can easily get lured into anything. They don't shield themselves off for any other thing. They're very open to new experiences, which is really good. They're not necessarily patient with all these people that they meet, but Aries energy is actually very logical, and it does listen. So if you can kind of keep up with them and explain to them while you're keeping up with them, they will listen and understand. These people are actually very generous. So strangely enough, Venus in Aries, these people can receive money and then lose it. But this can be a good thing in a sense that these people understand that money is meant to be spent or circulated. Basically, just be very straightforward with an Aries. The most frustrating thing for any Aries placement, especially Venus and Aries, is to think that they can read your mind or make them want to read your mind. I don't even have Venus and Aries, and I get this. And I can just imagine someone with Venus and Aries that is just waiting for someone to read their mind. Or, someone in a relationship, if you're with that person with the Venus and Aries, don't sit around waiting for them to read their mind. They don't give a crap. Say, if you want something, say it. They're going to tell you, so tell them. But they would rather prefer either an argument or sex than heart-to-heart talk. Fire signs aren't very interested in emotions or speaking. They don't think it's exciting. They're like, I feel things, whatever. We can talk if you want, but there's no point. It depends on the rest of your chart, but this is pure Venus and Aries energy. So this is why Venus is not well placed in Aries, and because Venus is a feminine planet, right? So you put a feminine planet of romance and sensuality in a masculine sign, the most masculine sign, some would say. And these people just don't want to talk about where the relationship is going to go. And some people might consider these people dramatic, but they consider themselves not dramatic because they don't dwell on anything. Aries energy does not dwell. So they move on very quickly from any situation, basically. But basically, just to sum everything up, this is a very innocent, beautiful energy. It's pure. And if you know someone with this placement, or if you have this placement, that's awesome. So just know that you're very pure, and your romantic energy is decisive, and you should find someone else with decisive energy. So whether or not you're another element, if you have Venus in Aries, look for someone else with, a fire sign in their element. Mercury in Leo, or Jupiter in Sagittarius, or just any other fire placement will kind of connect with you. All right, well, thank you for watching today. Next, I hope to make Venus in Taurus. And I know I'm very, at this time that I'm uploading this, it's been a while since I've uploaded. So I'm taking this Venus series very slowly, which I think is appropriate for Venus. Venus doesn't like to rush into anything, It's not good to rush into a relationship. Okay,